back to the Rating Desk. This is my second video, and today we are diving into one of the biggest superhero films of the year, Superman 2025. I will be breaking down everything from the story and acting to the visual, music, and more. If you are a fan of superhero movies or just love Superman, this review is for you. So let's get started and see how this new Superman stacks up. Let's talk about a story. Movie does not repeat the old origin story we already know. It shows Superman as a symbol of truth, kindness, and humanity. Movie talks about media, politics, and how the world sees superheroes. But the film tries to add too many subplots. The enemy is not as strong as memorable. Some parts of the story feel fast and unfinished. Suddenly jumps from serious to funny scenes, which feels odd at a time. The ending has too much going on at once. So story is good and refreshing, but a little crowded and not fully polished. So my rating for the story is 6 out of 10. Now let's talk about the acting and performance. First of all, David Cornsworth really shines as a Superman. He brings warmth, honesty, and hope to the role. He feels like a true hero, but also very human, and that's exactly what Superman should be. His chemistry with Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane is fantastic. Rachel makes Lois smart, bold, and fun, and she adds a lot of energy to the movie. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor is another highlight. He plays Lex in a very modern way, more like a tech billionaire villain, and he's both charming and dangerous. Even Crypto the Superdog adds more really emotional and funny moments without feeling over the top. Now, on the weaker side, some of the supporting characters don't get enough screen time. They are introduced but not developed deeply, so you don't connect with them as much. Also, a few comedy scenes feel a little forced, which makes the performance look uneven at times. But overall, the acting is one of the strongest parts of the movie. My rating for the performance is 8.5 out of 10. Let's move to the direction. James Gunn brings a fresh and colorful style to Superman. The movie feels hopeful and fun, dark like older version. Characters get emotional depth, not just action. Visuals are bright, bold, and full of energy. Good balance of action and human moments. But tone sometimes feel uneven, serious to funny very quickly. The ending is crowded with too many plot lines at once. Action scenes can look too busy with CGI. James Gunn gives Superman a hopeful and modern feel, but some tone shifts and messy ending hold it back. So my rating for the direction is 8 out of 10. Next, moving to cinematography. There are many good things here. The movie has some beautiful lighting and atmosphere, especially in emotional moments like Superman in the snowy tundra or his quiet scenes with Lois. The flight sequences are smooth and exciting, making you feel like you are flying with him. The visuals also have a nice film-like quality with grain and texture, which gives it a classic look instead of feeling too digital. Plus, places like Metropolis and the Fortress of Solitude look visually rich and detailed, also like comic book panels coming to life. But it's not perfect. Sometimes the visual feel a little too safe or plain, missing that bold artistic punch. In some scenes, the lighting is too harsh, which makes costume and set look a bit fake or plastic. While the cinematography delivers some powerful and emotional visual, it has some flaws that stop it from being flawless. My rating for the cinematography is 9 out of 10. Next is music and sound design. The score here is really energetic and modern. It uses electric guitar and synths, which gives Superman a fresh, heroic vibe instead of just sticking to the old style. I also liked how the movie pays respect to John Williams' classic Superman theme, weaving it into the new music without overusing it. Some tracks like Speeding Bullet and Justin Gang vs. Kaizo really stand out. They make the action scenes feel big and epic. And even the end credit song, Punk Rocker by Teddy Bear with Iggy Pop, leaves you with a fun and hopeful feeling, which matches the tone of the movie perfectly. But when the classic theme is used, sometimes it feels more like a lighter copy than a powerful tribute. Also, it felt like the music does not always hit the emotional depth that Superman's story needs, and the mix of old and new styles feels a little inconsistent. So my rating for the music and sound design is 8.5 out of 10. The next category is visual effects. The flying scenes look exciting and immersive thanks to particle rigs and large LED screens. The visual feel real and thrilling. Many effects are believable and emotional, like when Superman lifts large objects or fight huge monsters. You actually feel the weight and scale through the screen. Some moments, especially in 3D, are visually stunning, like the battle with the giant monster. These give the film a major wow factor. But a few scenes like the fights with Kazu look cartoonish or plastic, which breaks the immersion. The final act sometimes feel overloaded with CGI, so much happening on screen that it becomes distracting rather than impactful. The visual quality is inconsistent. Some sequences are impressive, others look less polished or unimaginative. So overall the VFX are very strong and give Superman a big cinematic feel, but they are not flawless. My rating for the visual effect is 8 out of 10. Let's talk about costumes and makeup. The Superman suit is honestly a big win. It's bright, colorful, and a classic with the return of the red trunks and the bold S emblem. It gives Superman that hopeful and iconic look fans have been waiting for. The overall design feels nostalgic but is still fresh, and it really matches the lighter, more hopeful tone of the movie. Overall, the costume do a great job of bringing back the true Superman look. My rating for costume and makeup is 10 out of 10. The next is innovation. One of the coolest things is how they handle the flying scenes. Instead of just green screen, they use real rigs, wind tunnel mixed with CGI, which makes Superman's flight feel much more real and immersive. The filmmaker also used a rare like a trial Mar lens, which gives the visual a soft, warm and cinematic look instead of that overly digital feel we sometimes see in the superhero movie. The usage of special rigs like the Stably Nano made the camera movement really smooth and dynamic, especially in aerial shots. Plus, the grainy film-like texture give the movie a nice nostalgic vibe while still feeling the modern. On the weaker side, some of the style feels a little too familiar, since James Gunn's approach, fun humor and high energy, is something we have been seen before. Also, the movie tries to introduce too many characters at once, which makes it feel a bit crowded, like it's setting up a whole universe in one go. So, while not perfect, this movie brings some very fresh and exciting filmmaking technique. My rating for innovation in filmmaking is 8.5 out of 10. Let's talk about rewatchability. The big action scenes and flight sequences are exciting enough that you'd want to see them more than once. It's also very family friendly, so you can easily watch it again with friends or family. But on the weaker side, the film is a little overstuffed with character, so repeat viewings can sometimes feel heavy. The story is also quite predictable, so once you know the plot, it does not surprise you much the second time. Plus, a few slow parts in the pacing may feel even slower when you rewatch. So you can definitely watch again and still enjoy, but maybe not endlessly like other superhero classics. My rating for rewatchability is 6 out of 10. Let's talk about ending. The film ends with a very hopeful and inspiring note, which is exactly what Superman should represent. It also does a good job of setting up the future of the DC universe, giving fans a taste of what's coming next. But on the weaker side, the ending spends a little too much time teasing future DC movies instead of fully closing Superman's own story. The final battle feels a bit safe, not as intense or dramatic as it could have been, and the overall resolution is a bit predictable without any shocking twist. So overall, the ending is satisfying and true to Superman's spirit, but it could have been more bold and powerful. My rating for the ending is 7 out of 10. So every category has been discussed, and the final overall rating of the movie is 7.9 out of 10. And that's my breakdown review for Superman. See you in the next video.